Today we're going to be talking about the 3 fundamental questions of economics. While I am taking notes here, it will be important that you follow along and fill out the questions that are on your note catcher. These are going to be helpful for you to reference when we do an activity after the lesson. So when we look at these 3 fundamental questions, we're looking at what to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce. So let's go ahead and break this down a little bit more. Our first question is, what are we producing? This could be as simple as purses, or maybe binders, or maybe we'll be real creative and make fidget spinners. These are all products that we can create. Second question that we need to think about is, how are we producing it? Are we producing it in large masses? Are we making it for a small group of people? This is where we need to think about equipment, machinery, etc. We also need to think about the technology. We need to think about the logistics of how we are going to make this product in masses. Depending on what we are making. We can be making something really small or making something really big. Our last question that we need to think about is, whom are we making this for? So we need to think about 2 main things. Who is our audience? Are we creating our product for the elderly or the young? Or maybe we're making it for both. Let's take a closer look at this purse, for example. If we're looking to make a purse, are we looking to make a luxury purse? Or are we looking to make an affordable purse? These are all going to be things that we need to think about when we're looking to create our product and for whom we're thinking to create this product for. We want to make sure that we're targeting the right audience and making the correct product for them. Now that we have a little bit better background about these 3 fundamental questions, I want you to go ahead and answer on your worksheet. Which do you think is the most important question for you to answer when creating your product? Once we have these 3 questions answered and we are thinking about what we are going to produce, how we are going to produce it, and for whom we're going to produce it for, we need to think about the resources that we're going to need to create this product. There are 3 main resources we need to think about when we're creating. The first one is human. When we are looking at human resources, we need to think about who is going to be making this product. So we're going to have our industry people. We're going to have the people who are in the warehouse actually making the product. We're also going to have the corporate people or the logistical people. These are the people who are going to be working behind the scenes. They're going to be working on designing the product. They're going to be thinking about the logistical or money behind how they're going to sell the product. Human resources are important for us to understand because these are the people who are going to be making our product for us. Our second resources are our capital resources. These are the resources that we need to think about when we're trying to answer the question of how to produce it. So this goes back to our equipment and our machines. We must think about what kind of tools are we going to need. Again, these are these tangible assets. We also may need to think about, do we need vehicles to transport this product? These are the things that are going to allow us to actually have our product be made and transported. Our last is our natural resources. Our natural resources are going to allow us to actually make our product. These are all things that can be found in nature and are going to be important when you're making your own product. Some of these natural resources can be as simple as land, water, and minerals. These are all things that go into making a product. Now that you have an idea about what the three types of resources are, try and think of what are some other human, capital, and natural resources that you can think of. This can be any product that you think about. What kind of resources do you think this product would need? Go ahead and write your answers on your worksheet. Brings me to your activity. You are going to be creating your own product by thinking about these three resources and how they can help you think about what you're going to make how you're going to make it and for whom you're going to make it for. We're going to do a real quick one together. So let's go ahead and look at these fidget spinners, since I know that there's something that are really popular with you guys. So this is our what, right? This is our first question that we are going to answer when we're looking at this product. So now we need to think about how we're going to produce it. So if you remember, this is going to be that equipment, and this is also going to be the machinery. But what about when we're thinking about those logistics things? How are we going to be able to design this product? How are we going to be able to process the orders that are coming in for this product? This is all something that we're going to need technology. This is the how we're going to produce it. And then we have to think about our final thing. For whom are we going to produce it for? I don't know about you guys, but I haven't seen my grandma play with the fidget spinner ever. I always see you guys. So when we're thinking about it, we're thinking about our middle school aged kids. So it's important that we make sure that these are affordable. If we're targeting middle schoolers, we need to make sure that this is something that they can buy. So after we figured out these three fundamental questions, we need to break it down even more into our resources that we need. So again, there's three different resources that we need to think about when we're creating our product. So again, the first one is our human resources. And for our human resources for our product, we need to think about the designers. We also need to think about the people who are making it, so the makers of the product. We also need to think about all the personnel that's going to be working behind the scenes, right? Then we need to think about our second one, our capital. So our capital could be, again, our equipment, our machinery, all the things that we're going to need to make this fidget spinner. And our last one is going to be our natural resources. So if we're going to make these, I'm pretty sure they're out of titanium, some sort of metal. We're probably going to need aluminum and plastic, etc. So these are all things that we're going to need. Before we jump into our activity, explain why we would need land as a natural resource. Now that you've seen this at the most basic format of what you're going to be doing when you create your own product, let's go ahead and create our own. There are going to be some questions that follow that ask you to go through your planning process of what you're going to make. I hope that you found these notes helpful as you work to create your own product.